Wait a minute. The broad jump. The broad jump over the pothole on 86th Street. Now I remember. As I jumped over the hole, I heard like a jingling sound.
You didn't look down?
I was trying to stick the landing. Right around here. No!
Holy cow!
Poor son of a bitch.
Hello, and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinnie.
My name's Matt.
Who are you with? Who let you in? Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Love that guy. How you doing?
I'm good. It feels like it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. We took a week off, but we managed to get an episode out. Really enjoyed our conversation about the Susie. Had a lot of fun. I don't know if you checked out our Twitter page lately, Vinny, but something big happened last night. I was at Seinfeld Trivia, and between rounds, I had some time to kill, and I remembered, I didn't post that great blooper of Jerry and Elaine at the Susie Memorial where... the actors are just cracking up. And so I posted it, and I tagged some people in it, like Julia and John O'Hurley and Lee Arenberg, who plays Mike, and writer David Mendel. And I don't know, after a couple of minutes, David Mendel was nice enough to retweet us. I'm like, oh, that's nice, And then a couple of minutes later, Julia retweeted us.
Wow.
It was huge, man. Like, now I know the thrill people get, like, when they're chasing those retweets or whatnot on Twitter.
Isn't that an Adele song, Chasing Retweets? I feel like we can retire now, that she knows we exist.
It's all downhill from here.
I was so... you sent me the text, you sent me the screenshot, and I was ecstatic. I'm like, well, now we're getting somewhere, because she's top four. She's one of the main, the Fab Four. And for her to... Who knows if she just saw the blooper and was like, retweet, right. But she didn't, bother to care.
Now, later we should be like, hey, we're with Seincast, and she'll be like, who are you with?
Exactly. Oh, look at you. Full circle. But wow, yeah, that was... I was flying high last night when you sent me that.
It's a weird feeling, man, because once again, we don't chase retweets or likes or follow us, except here on the podcast. We tell you guys where to find us. But we have
an Instagram, a Facebook, a Twitter, a Tumblr, and leave a voicemail. Coco Bosco.
You can also donate to the page at
there
PayPal.
You go.
No, to get that retweet was just awesome, and Julia managed to double our Twitter followers in 12 hours.
Thank you, Julia.
Yeah, so thank you very much.
Such modesty in her post as well, because she said something, akin of like, nobody had more fun doing our show than we did. And again, I'm sorry to all the actors around for not being professional or something.
Probably one of the worst / best Julia scenes. Worst in the fact that she just can't get it together, but best because she can't get it together.
Yeah, but it's so memorable. Everybody... casual fan, diehard fan knows that scene, that moment, and loves it for that reason. This is the scene where that blooper is, where she's in tears.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll include the link in our show notes if anyone wants to check it out if you haven't already. But it was also great to hear from a ton of Seinfeld fans on Twitter that don't follow us, don't even know about us. Just comment on the video and how much joy it brings them, and how much they love Seinfeld and how much they love the actors on it.
There's a great scene in The Office when it's the Valentine's Day episode, and I think Stacy left Kevin, but he gets that girl's phone number from the meet and greet, and he's like, "It's nice to win one." So yeah, that's we won one.
Yeah, little victory. But it's likely that we have a lot of new listeners this week, so if it's your first time listening to Seincast, welcome. Vinny, before we get started with this week's episode, I thought we could kick off this week with a little news.
Hey, I got news for you.
Great news. All right, I got news. You ready?
What?
I will be hosting trivia in New York City on September 26th. Not Seinfeld trivia, mind you. Another show. Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Holy cow.
It's going to be at a place called Route 66 Smokehouse. So when you think of Curb, you think of a smokehouse. But we're going to give it a shot. I'm really excited about it. I'm already through my rewatch of Curb, really enjoying it. So hope you guys do the same before you come out.
Will you be making the questions as difficult, especially in the later rounds, as you would in a Seinfeld trivia?
No way. Yeah, this is definitely, I think, going to be much easier than Seinfeld trivia. I don't know, just more fun, familiar questions for Curb. Since I don't think it's a show that people really know all that much about. But for example, Vinny, here's an easy one. I just watched this episode last night. Who's the wrestler that confronts Larry after he is joking around with his kids?
You want his first name or his last name or both? I got them both.
I don't even know his last name.
Thor Olson.
Oh boy,
well, he's one of those wrestlers who's going to be at the Staples Center. Jason Alexander says it.
It's all fake. He's acting.
He's a big phony baloney.
So yeah, just some fun questions from Curb to celebrate its return. Once again, this is on September 26th at Route 66 Smokehouse. I'll include a link in our show notes. Hope to see a lot of you guys there. More importantly than Curb Your Enthusiasm trivia, we received an email from Jennifer Armstrong, who we all know as the author of Seinfeldia, and a friend of hers, Dr. Elizabeth Yuko. She is a bioethicist and writer. They will be co-hosting an event on September 13th called the Elaine Appreciation Night. Feminist icon Elaine Bennis finally gets her own celebration. Join Jennifer Armstrong, author of the New York Times bestseller Seinfeldia, and Dr. Elizabeth Yuko, health and sex editor at She Knows, for a night dedicated to Seinfeld's Queen of the Castle and raising money for Planned Parenthood. We'll watch sponge-worthy Seinfeld clips, discuss Elaine's groundbreaking portrayal of female sexuality, have a raffle full of Elaine-themed prizes and sexy swag, and hold an Elaine dance contest before the night is through. Paperback copies of Seinfeldia will be available for sale. All proceeds will go to Planned Parenthood, New York City, and will be donated in Elaine's name. So how about that?
So many Seinfeld references littered throughout that description.
Absolutely. Sounds like a great night and a great cause. Once again, this is on September 13th at 7:30 at the Spread House Cafe. This is on 116 Suffolk Street. We'll include a link in the show notes for any listeners that would like to attend. I am going to try my hardest to be there. I've missed Jennifer and Elizabeth's events in the past, and I really regret it. So I'm really hoping to get to this one.
You don't try. You do.
Vinny, we have some emails to go over before we get into this week's episode. Thought we could cut back to last week's episode, the Susie. I asked our listeners if anyone knows what car Peterman is driving to the Susie Memorial to let us know. And sure enough, one of our listeners, Quigino Bambino on Twitter, let us know that Peterman drives a 1955 Jaguar XK140 Roadster. And I included a link there in my picks, Vinny. Do you see it?
Oh, I see it. It's a scene man. Mm-hmm. Got a little suggestion for one Jerry Seinfeld. I'd like to request that John O'Hurley be on not the season, but the following season of Comedians in Cars, and I would like to be in a 1955 Jaguar XK140 Roadster.
That would be something.
Thank you.
Moving on to a tweet from listener Paul Elliott, longtime listener and one of our most dedicated. Paul Elliott on Twitter, right after we posted the episode, the Susie, he said, "Hey, you guys didn't mention the phrase, 'How about those Knicks?' was sort of, brought back in the Susie."
Damn. Do people judge us for missing these things? Because I'm starting to get a little embarrassed that we're missing these. I don't know if they're obvious, but old 2000 era Vinny would have got this. And now am I getting old? What's going on? I feel really bad about that. And where he's talking about the doorman. Hey, how about those Knicks?
Yes.
Damn.
Good catch, Paul. Really appreciate you writing in. One more email here. This comes from listener Ezra Torres. And this is sort of a long one, but it's on the topic of basketball, specifically Reggie and Cheryl Miller. And you know that line we love so much? I didn't know Cheryl Miller's brother played basketball. Mm-hmm. Here we go. When Elaine refers to Reggie Miller as Cheryl Miller's little brother, I was confused by this for the longest time because I grew up in Arizona and I didn't understand New York culture. I always retconned it by thinking that perhaps Elaine was such a forward-thinking woman, she was more familiar with women's basketball than men's. However, I later learned that this phrase was a deliberate jab at Miller by the writers. During the height of the Pacers-Knicks rivalry, New Yorkers would often refer to Reggie Miller as Cheryl's little brother, as it was found out that Reggie had a bit of a complex about his older sister. Growing up, Reggie always lived in his sister's shadow as she set record after record in becoming the Michael Jordan of women's basketball. New York sports writers and fans constantly would jab at Reggie with the comment that he still wasn't as good or as famous as his sister, which led his mission to be a Knick killer. I believe I learned this during the feature on him in ESPN's 30 for 30. So Elaine's comment is a bit of a sports culture infiltrating the show and a jab at Reggie from the writers who were loyal Knicks fans.
Now that is fascinating stuff. Watching the show all these years, never picked up on that. And yet again, the show keeps on giving. We learn a little more from what was going on in the writer's room. Yeah,
I thought that was really interesting. There's even a joke or two in this week's episode that I always found funny, always thought I got, but after listening to the commentary, I realized I didn't get it.
Ooh, can't wait for that.
Yeah, a little Matt moment for you guys, a little preview.
It's coming.
But thanks to everyone who wrote in. Really appreciate it. Vinny, let's get started with this week's episode. What do we got?
We got the 16th episode of Season 8, The Pothole, written by Steve O'Donnell and Dan O'Keefe, directed by Andy Ackerman, and it originally aired February 20th, 1997.
The 16th episode of Season 8, also known as the 150th episode of Seinfeld.
Oh, you don't say.
Oh, I say. Sort of an important episode. The 50th episode was The Virgin.
That's a good one.
The 100th, one of your favorites. Highlights of 100, Vinny, clip show.
Oh.
And here we are at the 150th. Also interesting to note that we are, after this episode at least, 80% done with Seinfeld.
How about that?
Nuts. Can't believe it. It's gone by really fast. But this is one of Jerry's favorite episodes. In fact, when the show wrapped in 1998, he had a special DVD made just for him with some of his favorite episodes. This was included on it.
That's pretty cool. They did that for him.
Right. Now, what other episodes do you think were on that DVD?
On Jerry's?
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine the contest. Trying to think what else he said in the past that he's enjoyed.
Yeah. I would assume any episode where you see Jerry the actor kind of crack.
Yeah.
Then you chuckle.
So maybe with the, hey, Kramer, are you in? But yeah, it's kind of tough because I always think of his stand-up when he's asked that question and he says, well, each one of them is like a breath of air. So he loves all of them. They're all his little babies. So it's kind of cool to hear him actually state The Pothole is among his favorites.
This episode was written by Steve O'Donnell and Dan O'Keefe, as you mentioned. Not that familiar with Steve O'Donnell, but if you check out his IMDb credits, I mean, this guy has written on so many comedy shows, and I'm sort of ashamed. He had a guest spot that I never knew about on Strangers with Candy, which is one of my favorite shows.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I just never really, realized it was him until I saw his IMDb photo.
Is he more of an actor or more of a writer?
More of a writer.
Okay.
And I think
so
he's
fair.
just check out his IMDb credits, and it's incredible. He would be such a fascinating guy to talk to. Seinfeld fans, though, will know him as one of the co-writers of The Checks earlier this season.
Right on.
So, great episode. However, this is Dan O'Keefe's first episode.
Now, Dan O'Keefe, I always remember that name because he will forever be the guy who came up with the idea of the Festivus.
Right.
He contributed that idea in that episode later on. But he's a Festivus guy.
We'll talk about this, more in that episode, but he actually grew up with Festivus, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his dad invented it.
Yeah. So anytime you see a Festivus article online or anything on YouTube, chances are you're going to have an interview with Dan O'Keefe. He'd go on to write other episodes of Seinfeld like The Blood, The Strongbox, The Frogger, and of course, he's one of thousands of writers on the Puerto Rican Day. So you can't just blame one writer for that episode. Vinny, out of all those episodes, which one is your favorite?
If I had to make a choice, I'd probably go with the strike, solely for the Frank Costanza portion with him dragging that Festivus pole across the floor.
I think I'll go with the Frogger. Big fan of that with Shlomo and Slippery Pete.
Frogger is wrong.
Let's cut over to some behind-the-scenes trivia from the filming of the Pothole. I'm very excited to talk about this. A few weeks ago, I was at Seinfeld Trivia, and I was chatting with friends of the show, Shane and Joanna.
I know Shane and Joanna. What do they do?
Whatever. But, Shane surprised me with a great gift. He gave me a t-shirt, and I didn't really understand what this was from. On the front, it says, "Holy cow," and on the back, it says, "I survived the pothole." And
okay.
Shane explained that he was looking for some Seinfeld shirts on eBay, and he stumbled upon this one. It is way too big for him, so he's like, "Hey, I want you to have it." And not only that, this is an official crew member shirt that was handed out after the filming of the Pothole. And sure enough, on the left sleeve, it has the official Seinfeld logo and says 150th episode, sort of commemorating it, January 30th, 1997. So I am now the proud owner of an official Seinfeld crew member shirt. And it's in great condition. It must have been sitting in a box for the past 20 years. But I was just blown away. I think we've talked about on the show how much we love rare Seinfeld merch.
Oh, yeah.
But this is getting me really excited to think what other, Seinfeld merch is out there that was either handed out on set or, for specific cast or crew members.
Well, there is the Seinfeld crew member yearbook that was handed out at the finale of the show, which is on eBay still, and it's going for like a couple $100. Ooh. But that is a wonderful gift for Shane to give you.
Yeah.
A little jealous right now. Yep. Mm-hmm. And Shane, let me say, if you're getting anything else, I'm a medium.
Well, the back of the T-shirt, as I mentioned, says, "I survived the pothole." And I'm like, well, what was that all about? What's so dangerous about filming an episode of Seinfeld? Apparently Michael had some near misses in this episode. He almost died, and he almost killed someone, according to Andy Ackerman.
Let's start with the dying portion.
Which dying? His dying?
His dying.
Okay. You want to talk about it, actually?
Yeah, during the scene in which Michael is picking up garbage off of mile 114 of the Arthur Burghardt Expressway, we see him. He's collected almost every article off the highway. It's almost spotless, and then he sees that crushed can in the middle. And we see him dart out, hover over the can. Cars are whizzing by him, honking their horns. He runs back, then he runs back yet again and picks up the can and runs back to safety. Now, they didn't use stunt drivers to drive these cars, in between Michael. They used just cast and crew members who volunteered their cars to drive by in a loop. But Michael didn't specify, at least on one take, he didn't specify how he was going to run out there, and he darted out there, and these cars had to jam on their brakes to miss him. And so that's why he almost got hit by a car and could have been, gravely injured.
I don't think it's in the take, from the episode. They must have, once he did that initial dash, they're like, all right, let's
stop
plan
the
for
show.
This. But word has it that Andy Ackerman nearly had a heart attack. The cars came that close to hitting Michael.
Yeah.
In fact, that area, that mile 114, we've seen that on Seinfeld before. I think in the bottle deposit when when Kramer kicks Newman out of the mail truck.
Okay.
It's a portion of the parking lot at the CBS Studio Center. They can kind of fudge the angles and make it look like it's part of a highway. Mm-hmm. But apparently those drivers are just going in a loop, and if you look at them driving past it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
So that sequence always reminds me of that moment in Bowfinger. Did you ever see that?
I know it's Eddie Murphy, right?
Yeah, and he has to run across the freeway in LA, and he's just screaming and dodging out of the way. So, what about the time Michael almost killed a guy on Seinfeld? You want to talk about that?
Well, in this instance, this goes back to the final scene, or even the credit scene of this episode, when Newman's already been engulfed in flames. He's walking back toward the city, shell shocked, and Kramer says, "I'm going to get the hell out of here." So he hops in his car and just floors it, and screeches out of there. Apparently, when he turns around that corner on the highway, there was a lighting tower, and there was a crew member in the tower. And Michael jammed on his brakes and came to within inches of hitting this tower, almost taking out the guy that was in the tower. So Michael's a little loosey-goosey with himself and with other people's lives in this week's episode.
So there you go. A pretty dangerous shoot for cast and crew on Seinfeld this week. You know, just a couple of weeks prior with the comeback, remember there was that whole issue with the hurricane and the tarp almost collapsing on everyone playing tennis?
Yeah.
So
it took him 8 seasons to finally have a life or two in danger.
Right. But having said all that, this episode earned Andy Ackerman an Emmy for Outstanding Direction. And before watching this episode, for Seincast at least, I never really noticed all of the little things that go into this week's episode, from the special effects with Phil Rizzuto's head to that great toilet bowl POV shot.
Yeah, you kind of take it for granted. A lot of behind the scenes stuff went into making those shots work so well. Mm-hmm. So it is understandable why he would have won a Emmy for that,
or he was at least nominated.
Well, he would have won if I was banging.
All right. Well, first scene of the episode, we are in Jenna's apartment. This is Jerry's girlfriend of the week, I guess. Mm-hmm. Jerry and his girlfriend are in the bathroom the day after that. And she hopes that, I hope you don't mind using some baking soda toothpaste.
Baking soda? Annoying little product. I can do this. I can do that. Why doesn't this stuff just shut up?
What are your thoughts on baking soda toothpaste, Vinny?
Not a fan. There's no flavor. There's no personality.
Jerry doesn't like the taste, and while Jenna is out of the room, he spits into the sink, accidentally knocking her toothbrush into the toilet. And we get this wonderful POV from inside the toilet of Jerry looking inside. And after a little hesitation, he reaches in, yanks out the toothbrush, and starts washing his hands furiously. After a few moments, though, he notices, wait, the toothbrush is missing, and he looks behind him to see Jenna brushing her teeth.
Uh-oh.
Now, a few things. How did she start brushing her teeth so fast?
She's got probably a little bit of Lou Filerman in her, maybe, because she sidles. She's wearing wrestling shoes.
It reminds me of the comeback when, Milish goes to the back room and he,
It comes right back out.
Right. It's like, whoa, what happened here? Love that shot, too, as I mentioned, of the POV inside the toilet.
Yeah, now that was one of the things that Andy Ackerman probably got credit for being nominated for the Emmy. They sawed off the bottom of a toilet bowl, and then they put plexiglass underneath it, filled it with water, and then they were able to shoot it from underneath. So you could get that wonderful view of seeing Jerry repulsed as he reaches in to grab out that toothbrush.
Apparently it took an hour to set up, and it took another 3 hours to actually film. Which is
totally worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the, I think, all-time classic shots on Seinfeld. But it's amazing these days. You could probably just create some sort of water effect in a computer and get it that way.
We'll see another shot of the toothbrush falling in later, right? Where it's in slow-mo. Is that correct?
It's like chucked in there.
Yeah.
But... Now, Vinny, you've been to my place several times, and I'm sure you're familiar with that cabinet above our toilet.
I am.
I can't tell you how many things have fallen into our toilet.
Toothbrush?
Toothbrushes, tweezers, deodorant, anything that's either in the cabinet, just gets knocked an inch and it falls kerplunk into the water. It's horrible. So we have a very strict toilet lid policy here where you always have to...
lid's always down.
Lid is always down if we can help it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Did you rinse your mouth with bleach after the toothbrush went in there?
I think in that instance I threw out the toothbrush, but I have reached into the toilet with my bare hands several times to pull something out.
Jenna is played by Kristen Davis, and I think most of us will probably recognize her as Charlotte from Sex and the City. Mm-hmm. And this episode was filmed in 1997. Sex and the City began in 1998, so this was right before she got her, biggest break of her career.
Very cool.
Yeah. She was also a regular on Melrose Place way back in the day. And I didn't know this. She was in Sour Grapes. She played a character named Riggs. It's funny. Riggs. Go suck an egg.
Suck an egg?
I own Sour Grapes. I have it on DVD. It was a gift from you. But I don't remember what part she played in that movie, so I'll have to revisit that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll have to do a Sour Grapes, one-off podcast at some point.
I think around this time on, like the Seinfeld production, Larry was probably either filming or, in the pre-production phase of Sour Grapes. So
pretty cool to think about. Mm-hmm. And Kristen Davis will also come back to reprise her role as Jenna in The Butter Shave next season.
That's right. She starts dating Banya.
That's right. Well, after dating Jerry, anyone after that is a pleasure.
It's funny in that scene, where Jerry sees Jenna and Kenny, she tells George, like, "Oh my God, it's Jenna." Who? The toothbrush in the toilet bowl.
So they each have these little associations with each of the girls to remember them. You got Mulva, all these various things.
It reminds me of our ID round in trivia where you have to, write down the name of certain characters. There's a, series of pictures. And, every night there's a couple of teams that are like, I don't know the name, but I know the situation. So that should count, I guess. Toothbrush.
Did anybody write? Yeah, did anybody write that as an idea as toothbrush in the toilet bowl?
Oh, sure.
I would have given credit for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jenna's a tough one. Not a very memorable name, but a very memorable character. Mm-hmm. Let's cut over to Monks. Jerry catches George up on what happened, and George seems to subscribe to the 5-second rule, Since Jerry grabbed the toothbrush so quickly, the germs were just knocked out.
How many years of med school did you have?
The real issue is that Jerry never told Jenna about what happened. She's like him. She's very...
finicky? Prissy? Fastidious?
I'll take fastidious. But George puts his keys on the table, and Jerry notices this little head of Phil Rizzuto on the keychain. Steinbrenner gave them out when the former Yankee shortstop was inducted into the Hall of Fame. When you squeeze the head, Vinny, what happens?
Holy cow!
Are you familiar with Phil Rizzuto?
Well, I mean, he was way before my time in terms of playing as a ball player, but I remember I had a Cal Ripken card, one of his, rookie or second year cards, and it was him. It was like upcoming players, and it had him, it had Cal Ripken, Phil Rizzuto, and another character or something like that. Mm-hmm. But maybe I'm mixing. Maybe I'm thinking of Phil Necro. Never mind. I know the name. Let's stick it with that.
Strike that from the record. But yeah, Phil played for the Yankees for I don't know how many years, but he eventually was an announcer for the New York Yankees, which I think probably people at the time knew him best as.
Oh, where else he's referenced is in Billy Madison during spelling class when he has to spell Rizzuto and write it on the board, and Billy Madison can't write Z's, so he writes like a squiggly R. Mm-hmm. And she makes fun of him, this teacher. She's like, Rirruto, those are Z's. And Adam Sandler does his, I hate you all. And he runs out of the room.
Of course.
So there you go.
No matter what, I'll always return to my master, Billy Madison. That is, will always be my favorite.
Those first three are very good.
Mm-hmm. So Kramer marches in with this busted sewing machine and just, hurls it on the table. Says he just ran over it while doing 70 on the Arthur Burghardt Expressway. Before he gets, too carried away, George just presses that Phil Rizzuto head, and we get another, holy cow.
Oh, look at that. Talking Nixon. Now, there is a line you always quoted in college.
Love that, again.
Ew. Yep.
There was something about Season 8 Kramer, I guess, that I really loved. And
his tone of some of his delivery is just was constantly quoted by you in college.
And I don't even know how this would have come up, Talking Nixon. But
you would just say it, yeah.
Kramer's just such a happy... He is merry, I guess. I don't know. There's something about him that I really gravitated towards.
Speaking of holy cow, that voice that we heard was actually Phil Rizzuto's voice they used for the keychain.
That's fantastic. I thought it was just some
Some guy.
some guy saying "Holy cow!"
Yeah. And here's one for you that I learned upon this watch. Arthur Burghardt Expressway. I thought that was a real highway in New York. I didn't think anything of it. Oh, yeah, the ABE. Apparently, there was an actor named Arthur Burghardt who came in to read for a role, and they never found the right role for him, but Jerry always loved this guy as an actor, so they decided to immortalize him by giving him a name on the show for an expressway.
There you go. It happens. I think we've brought up a few actors that came in a lot to read and just, they never got cast. An actor that comes to mind, Richard Schiff, who people remember as, Toby from The West Wing. He read for a lot of characters, just, never got cast, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, Arthur Burghardt, I never heard of him either. Mainly a voice actor. If you check out his IMDb page, I'm sure you recognize, a show or a movie he was, featured in. But listeners might know him best as the voice of Destro or Stalker on G.I. Joe.
Okay.
He also voiced Devastator on Transformers. So 2, classic animated shows there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arthur Burghardt. In the subtitles and any kind of trivia online, it's Burghardt, but the actor is Berg, like Alec Berg.
Okay.
Exactly.
Interesting. Well, you got to wonder if it was one of those things in the script. Was it written Burghardt, and then, Michael just went with Burghardt, or maybe it was an amalgamation? Matt, you mentioned a sewing machine that Kramer plunked down on the table once he came into Monk's. Keep that in mind, because it will come into play later on in the episode.
Is it the same sewing machine at the end of the episode?
The same.
Did it somehow find its way to the basement of that building?
I was thinking about that because, he picks it up off the expressway because he's driving and he, gets caught under his car. Somehow it manages to make its way to Elaine's car when she's hauling all the trash away from the building.
Yeah, maybe there's some weird time loop going on here where it's just this episode is on repeat over and over, and it's the sewing machine is the key. All right, let's cut over to Elaine's apartment. Elaine calls a Chinese restaurant to place an order.
China Panda.
Yeah, I'd like to place an order.
Yes, what you like?
This supreme flounder, it says first time served in America. Is that true?
What number?
47?
Yeah, first time. What else?
That's it.
Address?
78 West 86th Street, apartment 3E.
That's south side. Sorry, we don't deliver below 86.
I'm not below.
Yes, you are. Street itself is boundary.
Your guy can't cross to my side?
If we deliver to you, then what? 85th Street, Wall Street, Mexico, 84th Street?
All right, fine. I'll just cross and meet him.
Sorry, food only for those who live within boundary. China Panda.
I'd like to place an order.
What you like?
This is a wonderful scene. Love this actor who's playing the China Panda owner.
Yes.
It's George Chung, who was in Rambo: First Blood Part 2. He was in Austin Powers and Rush Hour. He's also a prominent stuntman as well. But just how aloof he is. What number? Yeah, first time.
What else?
So I love that. And
I always think of this. I always think of that. Yeah, what else? Whenever I order Chinese for my favorite place here in town, it's just... It works.
And he can't even acknowledge, like she asks, is that the first time the flounder has been served in America? He can't just say, yes, it is. What number? Like, give me the number first. And, oh, yeah, that it is. And then I do like Elaine's, her voice that she tries to disguise as a different customer. I'd like to place an order.
Little Kermit the Frog in there.
That's what I was getting. Yeah. It was also the writers during the commentary said Elaine was between 6 and 8 months pregnant during the time of the shooting. So that's why you see her either disguised or sitting or wearing baggy clothes.
Yeah, we brought that up during I think it was the Van Buren boys. That's when we first noticed it. Julia showing her pregnancy, and yeah, there's a lot of moments in this episode where you'll see, the camera's always cut off like right above her stomach, or there's always something obstructing her view. But this, I think, tracks nicely after she gets banned from Hop Sings in the race.
There's one instance in which she's had a run-in with a Chinese restaurateur.
So it seems like she has to go like more north, more uptown to get her Chinese food now.
Perhaps. She also, it wasn't necessarily a run-in, but remember the Chinese restaurant at Hunan 5th? Is that right? The guy would pay her no attention and only would pay attention to Mr. Cohen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Good point. And then there's any other whole issues with Ping, the delivery boy.
Ping, yes. Are there any other mentions? I feel like the Chinese restaurant is probably the most prominently featured restaurant in Seinfeld. Would you agree? Besides Monk's, of course, besides diner food. It seems like, you want to get Chinese?
Yeah, Chinese, and then probably pizza right below it with, Mario's and Lorenzo's. And
Formanunzio.
Bingos and all those. I do love the guy taking the order. If we deliver to you, then what? 85th Street, Wall Street, Mexico, 84th Street.
Yeah. And that kind of got me thinking, in this tough economic climate, they're turning away business, especially on the border.
It's so petty.
Yeah. But makes for funny.
He makes a point, too. It's the slippery slope. You cross the street to the south side of 86th Street, and then maybe you can go around the corner, and then you're down to 85th Street. And
and then Mexico.
Yeah.
But what, is Elaine going to blog? Like, hey, they're delivering outside the boundary, guys. Swarm.
I don't know if this is the first time, but we hear Elaine's address. It's 78 West 86th Street, apartment 3E. So there's some trivia for you.
And then if you think about Jerry's, he's 129 West 81st Street. So what is that, 5 streets away from each other?
Yeah, 5 blocks.
It's pretty close, right?
Let's cut over to Jerry's apartment. Kramer bursts in, smoking a cigar, handing one to his buddy.
Well, I'm a papa. Bring it on. Nothing's throwing me at this point.
Well, as of today, I am a proud parent of a 1-mile stretch of the Arthur Burghardt Expressway.
Oh, that adopt a highway thing.
Yeah, I'm part of the solution now, Jerry. Yeah, I went down there and I checked it out this morning. Here, take a look. Mile 114.
Looks just like you.
Oh, I'm beaming, Jerry.
So what do you have to do? Pay to keep it clean?
They try to push you into using their cleaning crew with all their so-called maintenance equipment.
That old scam.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm doing it all myself. This parenting isn't about delegating responsibility. It's about being there.
By the side of the road with a pile of garbage.
Quality time.
Keys. I can't find my keys.
You lost Phil Rizzuto's head?
Have you seen them?
No.
Damn it!
Come on, retrace your steps. What'd you do today?
I got up. I was supposed to go to work. I came here instead.
All right.
Well, they're not here. You'll have to dig up your spare set.
I don't have a spare set. All my keys say do not duplicate.
So?
So you can't duplicate them.
You can. Such a sweet kid.
That has to be one of my favorite lines, as well as one of my most used quotes from the show is such a sweet kid. Anytime I encounter somebody who's, naive or just oblivious to what's going on, I'll shoot that.
Maybe.
Whatever. I'll shoot that quote at him. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that George has this weird... I don't know, he's following the rules. He tends to be a rule breaker, but...
Despite George always claiming that he's, Lord of the Idiots or just being a moron, he usually seems to be in the know with things like this. So I would think his character would know how to, that he can duplicate his keys. But I do like this twist, this wrinkle.
Mm-hmm. Well, probably the most memorable, lines from this scene come from Jerry. And this is something we, haven't really seen in a while. There's a few of those episodes where Jerry doesn't really have an arc. And he's just there sort of making fun of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I just say that because in this scene, everything Kramer says, Jerry has like a zing or a sarcastic comment to, I'm a papa, bring it on. Nothing's throwing me at this point.
Mm-hmm. And then when Kramer talks about, what parenting really is, it's not about delegating responsibility. It's about being there, the side of the road with a pile of garbage.
I love this Jerry, the one that's just mocking his friends.
Mm-hmm.
Let's cut over to 86th Street. This is what I assume is the north side of 86th Street. And Elaine notices a delivery guy turn the corner, and she dashes up the stoop of an apartment building across from hers and pretends to be walking out when the food arrives. The delivery guy is very suspicious. Why are you on the street and not in your apartment? And Elaine tries to BS her way through, and after she gets her food, the guy just watches her shuffle up the steps and stand at the locked door, unable to get in. Eventually, she gives up and just hands the food back.
This isn't fair. This is address discrimination.
This delivery guy really cares about making sure the food goes to the right people.
Again, the food's cooked. It's there. You got money in your hand. Yeah. Do you really live here?
Oh, it's so good.
You need to show ID just to get some supreme flounder.
This is such a great side of Seinfeld that we don't always see, but just these people that either have their rules or, I don't know, just don't like the Seinfeld gang and, they won't make exceptions for them. I love this kind of stuff.
I would argue as a result, because of this guy's quirks, he becomes a memorable delivery guy.
Mm-hmm.
This delivery guy is Radmar Agana Zhao. He was in Minority Report as well as The Phantom. There was an additional line that was going to end the scene. So after Elaine would say, this isn't fair, this is address discrimination, she would go on to say, Mr. China Panda, tear down this wall, which is a reference to Ronald Reagan.
That's great. I like that.
And it got me thinking logistically, Elaine's going to make a reference to, I'm not going to sit in the restaurant and eat it like some loser. Couldn't she have just gotten it takeout, gone and pick it up and then come back home?
Or later when Jerry's like, oh, has the food arrived yet? Why don't they go up to the restaurant?
Exactly. Yeah, they got a group now.
That's what makes it such a hilarious situation. All right, let's go over to our next scene here on the street. George scans the gutter for his keys while Jerry exits a drugstore. He cleaned out the whole dental hygiene shelf. The plan is to secretly sterilize Jenna's mouth.
By the time I'm through with her mouth, she'll be able to eat off it. Is it safe to drink bleach if you dilute it?
No. Stings the throat. I always love this line, but I guess I never got the joke. I just always liked it because, how would George know this? It's so weird. But on the commentary, Jerry Seinfeld said that it was a reference to a prior suicide attempt.
Oof.
Anyhow, the two start walking, and George retraces his steps. What's the story here?
So I was coming along here, and I felt like a piece of cake, But then I thought it's morning. I should really have a muffin. I like those chocolate chip ones. Then I figured, well, they're both really cake. So I sat on the bench for a little while, 20 minutes or an hour. And then I figured, check to see what you were up to. Wait a minute. The broad jump over the pothole on 86th Street.
Real quick, I love I sat on that bench for 20 minutes, an hour.
Yep, he slipped it in there.
So George and Jerry make their way to 86th Street. A lot happening there this week. And George continues, as he jumped over this pothole, he heard a jingling sound, but didn't look down because he was trying to stick the landing. Does any of this sound familiar?
It sounds very familiar. I was going to ask you the same question. I think you're referencing the note in which George jumps over a puddle, and he went like this. And then these girls called him a Mary. He chased them. He fell and skinned his knee.
Yes. And George finds the pothole where his keys fell, but it's been filled in. And just as a car drives over, we hear, holy cow.
Poor son of a bitch. I like the nice touch of, the front tire rolls over it, so you start to hear the holy, and then the rear tire runs over it, so it restarts the loop. So it's like you said, holy cow.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff indeed. Let's cut over to Jenna's apartment. We're in the bathroom. Jenna is trying her new electric toothbrush. Maybe the Orodent. Not sure.
Oh, could be.
And Jerry gives her some of the specs.
It's 100,000 revolutions a second. The engine's made by McDonnell Douglas. Keep going. It shuts off automatically.
Really? It does?
And the battery runs out. Don't forget to use the plaques, too.
That stuff tastes like bleach.
I don't know anything about that.
So while Jenna finishes brushing her teeth, Jerry goes into the other room, carefully puts her toilet toothbrush in a Ziploc bag, throws it out the window. And Jenna enters the room, wants a kiss. All Jerry can think about is the incident. So he pulls away and says, maybe we better not. I think I'm getting a cold. There's a shot of Jenna, right up close to the camera with her lips.
It's like very fisheye-like.
Mm-hmm. And it reminded me of the shot of Audrey in The Nose Job.
You're right.
Where her nose, it's sort of the same fisheye look. It's just right.
It's right in there.
It's like the boogeyman coming right at you.
This got me thinking of Elaine's theory that she discussed back in The Wife with Greg, the flyboy, when remember he wipes the bottle before taking a drink of water. If he was interested in me, he would want my germs. He would crave my germs. But as we learned, the bottle wipe supersedes the open lip kiss.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
And these are other germs too.
True. These are toilet germs.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's cut over to Jerry's car here. He's driving with Elaine on the Arthur Burghardt Expressway.
You still couldn't kiss her?
She has a taint. I can't see it, but I know it's there.
So now you're finding fault on a subatomic level.
Maybe if I could shrink myself down like in Fantastic Voyage and get inside a microscopic submarine, I could be sure. Although if there was something there, it might be pretty scary. Of course, I would have that laser.
Jer, do you see where this is going?
Being really clean and happy?
Jerry, you have tendencies. They're always annoying, but they were just tendencies. But now, if you can't kiss this girl, I'm afraid we're talking disorder.
Disorder?
From disorder, you're a quirk or two away from full-on dementia.
That could hurt me. Hey, there it is.
Should we stop and say hi?
Yeah, we've seen it.
I'll see you back at the house!
So yeah, here is the scene that we talked about at the top of the show in which Michael, kind of didn't coordinate with the drivers and he nearly got hit by a car, almost costing him his life.
Yeah, all for that little crushed soda can. I do like how Kramer knows it's Jerry. Like, hey, Jerry, I'll see you back at the house.
And the car's whizzing by him at 60 miles an hour, and he yells at him as if Jerry's going to be able to hear him. And we get a nice Fantastic Voyage reference, Jerry kind of revealing his inner nerdum. And again, like you said, it's that like childlike personality of Jerry, thinking what it'd be like to shrink down into a microscopic submarine.
It might be pretty scary. Of course. I'd have that laser.
Exactly, yeah.
Can you note another Fantastic Voyage reference on Seinfeld?
I'm not even going to try because I don't know Fantastic Voyage. What you got?
Well, let's jump ahead to the Summer of George, the season 8 finale, when Kramer has to, fire Raquel Welch, and he's like, what am I going to do? She's going to eat me alive. And Jerry says, oh, I got a tape of Fantastic Voyage if you think that would help.
Oh, okay.
So, starring Raquel Welch.
Oh.
But apparently, real life Jerry Seinfeld is a big fan of that movie.
Cool. Julia has some nice delivery, too, of being a quirk or two away from a full-on dementia.
That could hurt me.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, let's cut over to that, the other apartment building across from Elaine's. She stops by, kind of roaming the hallways, and knocks on a random door.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm your neighbor. From across the street. And, I was wondering if it wouldn't be too much trouble if I could use your apartment to order some food.
What do you want?
You see, there's this certain flounder, and they won't deliver it to my side of the street.
When is that?
No, I just need them to deliver it here, and I have to be kind of inside is all.
Who are you with?
Actually, I'm just kind of hungry.
Who are you in?
Well, the lock was broken. You just have to jiggle it. actually. But I just need like a half an hour to an hour.
Vinny, you're a big fan of this character, I guess.
Yeah, there's something about him, how clueless he is, and whatever Elaine asks him, he doesn't respond in what you would think would be a typical response. So let's see. If I could use your apartment to order some food, what do you want? Okay, she just stated that. And you see there's this flounder they won't deliver to my side of the street. When is that? So for some reason, he just cannot compute what she's saying. I really like that. Walter Addison plays this man. He was in The Watchmen, Fun with Dick and Jane, and The Fan.
Cool. Who are you with?
Is he the potato-smelling guy?
Well, no, this is a different building.
Different building, damn.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track. So we're on the north side of 86th Street. And
oh, that's right. What am I? It looks like that building, like when we see Jean-Paul walking down the hallway. It looks the same. I feel rusty today.
No. You're doing great. Well, we didn't hear in the clip, but after the man, Walter, I guess, closes the door, Elaine sees an open janitor's closet across the hall. And, kind of pushes it's like the door to Narnia. She pushes it open and she smiles as she gets this idea.
Love that smile she gives.
Let's cut over to Jerry's apartment. Jerry arrives home to find Kramer cleaning a bunch of road signs in his sink. Why are they in Jerry's apartment? It makes no sense.
Well, that's where they hang out.
Right. Everything, one way, yield signs, caution, all the...
Maybe, doesn't Kramer's apartment not have any running water?
Oh, yeah, maybe he's out.
We don't ask those questions anymore.
But it's ridiculous. The signs are everywhere. He's happy that his mile is spotless, though.
The big stuff was easy. Cinder blocks, air conditioners, shopping carts. I just rolled them into the woods.
Yeah, that stuff's all natural anyway. And one of my favorite moments, Kramer shows Jerry a 65 mile per hour speed limit sign and has a 1 spray painted.
Those kids with the spray paint. God love them.
So George enters and explains that he can't find anyone to dig up the pothole so he can get his keys back. Turns out Kramer met some maintenance guys on the highway and says, hey, they can help. What did Kramer have to borrow from them?
Some cones when he was sweeping his carpool lane.
I wonder if they cut that line from syndication, because I don't remember that at all.
Nor do I.
I love that. Sweeping the carpool lane. Where do you think George is sleeping, by the way? I assume a day has gone by since the incident.
He could have went to his parents.
True.
He's not... We don't know if he's dating anybody this week. So maybe he would have slept at a girlfriend's house.
I was going to say he could have slept under his desk, but we haven't gotten there yet.
It's not built yet, no. So, yeah, toughie.
Well, Kramer and George head out as Jenna arrives, and Jerry tries to stay upbeat, says, my cold is gone, and I've been looking forward to kissing you, which I am ready to do now, if you are ready. And as he goes in, he just...
It's nothing. I bruised my lip. I was drinking a Celeray, and I brought it up too fast, and I banged it into my lip, and then I knocked your toothbrush into the toilet, and I wasn't able to tell you before you could use it.
When were you going to tell me this?
Obviously never.
Yeah, so Jenna, understandably so, is very upset, and for some reason, Kramer pops back in, needs his yield sign, and frustrated, Jerry grabs other signs to get them out of his apartment, and while he's across the hall, Jenna slams Jerry's door shut, locks it. A few moments pass. She opens it and delightfully says, there, now something of yours has been in the toilet. And she heads out while Jerry is just left standing there in a panic.
Oh, man. Now, Matt, did you know what a Celeray was before this episode?
No idea.
Neither did I. And I was like, what the hell is a Celeray? And I did some Googling. It's made by Dr. Brown's, and it is a celery-flavored soda. Ooh. They produce it in New York, Philly, Baltimore. I had never heard of this, but it always, Celeray, it sticks in your head.
You've had Dr. Brown's before, right? Like root beer?
No.
Never. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's all new to me.
I think, I guess our East Coast listeners are familiar with Dr. Brown, but I just never heard of the Celeray flavor.
I know Dr. Pepper and Mr. Pibb.
This is the other doctor, Dr. Brown.
Okay.
Emmett Brown.
Have you ever used what mile marker is Kramer's highway in trivia?
Well, I hate number questions.
Me too.
I have used this question before since it's said a lot, and it's more of a
What
location than just like a
True.
random number.
Now, what about that? That's fair. That seems like a fair question, so I would agree with that. Now, what about the emergency call box that Kramer will be at, which George will call him?
Never. Yeah, that is too technical for me.
Yeah. 784 is what we're looking for. 784.
All right. Well, here we go. Jerry's worst nightmare. Something of his has gone in the toilet. You know, you think he'd realize what it is because it's still wet, but I guess
Perhaps.
Jenna dried it in time.
And let me just say, is that not the perfect way to exact revenge on Jerry Seinfeld?
Oh, yeah. Let him torture himself.
She is diabolical.
We get an act break, and when we come back, we're in Jerry's apartment, and he's wearing the rubber gloves. He's got a bunch of his personal items on the table there. He's viewing his entire apartment as a biohazard. He tries to get an answer from Jenna on the phone, but just winds up tossing his spatula in the garbage out of fear.
You know what I bet it is? Your remote.
Yes, that is a definite possibility.
Or it could be your Walkman there.
Are you just screwing with me?
Yeah, I am.
So, a great trivia question. What 3 things do we see Jerry throw into the garbage? You got your spatula, remote, and Walkman.
Okay.
I think he says, right, at the end, he's like, oh, I better be safe than sorry.
Yeah. Trivia question for you, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
When did Jerry previously throw out his spatula?
Oh, my God.
Did I get him?
Does Kramer use it to scratch his back?
Yeah.
I don't remember the episode, though.
Remember with Olive and I'm going home to spatula. He's got that itch.
Oh. That's great. Oh, and I think we discussed when he says, I'm going home to spatula, is it spatula like as a verb or spatula as a person, like a name?
I would say noun.
Noun? Okay.
Hey, how's life on the road?
I'm making a difference, Jerry.
I don't doubt it.
You should see the smiles on the drivers' faces. I mean, you gotta look quick, but they're there. Yes.
What's this?
You know, those annoying little bumps on the lane lines.
Isn't that some kind of safety thing?
No, I had to pull them up if I'm gonna widen the lanes.
What the hell are you talking about?
You know how in planes they got first class? More leg room, better ride? Well, I'm bringing that concept to mile 114.
How are you going to widen the lanes?
Well, you black out lane lines 1 and 3, and a 4-lane highway becomes a 2-lane comfort cruise. So you got any black paint?
Yeah, in my tool shed next to the riding mower.
Yeah, I'd like an order of Supreme Flounder, number 47. Yeah, apartment 1Q.
1Q? Whose apartment is that?
That's the janitor closet across the street.
You're pretending to live in a janitor's closet just to get this flounder?
It's better than eating it alone in the restaurant like some loser.
This stuff is unbelievable. I'd eat it out of a dumpster.
How do you know about it? You're not in the delivery zone.
Well, Newman uses his mail truck to run fish for China Panda on the weekends.
Well, mine's coming in 10, so see you boys.
Al, where's that tool shed of yours?
There's more Kramer.
I love
Great
that.
Kramer.
So sweet. It's not only the delivery, but I love Jerry's smile.
Yeah, that's one of those lines that tended to crack him up just as the scene was ending. Let's see here.
Some great lines in that scene. You know, we're bouncing between Kramer, you know, and Elaine. I love when she's ordering the Chinese food and Jerry's like, 1Q? Whose apartment is that? It's the janitor's closet across the street. Just so happy with herself.
Yeah, and you got the, as we talked about earlier, it's better than eating it alone in the restaurant like some loser.
You know, it's funny. I actually like going to the movies by myself.
Uh-huh.
I see a lot of movies, and, you know, it's hard to find someone to go with, but...
Tell me about it.
The more I go, the more I prefer going by myself. However, I'm not a huge fan of eating in restaurants by myself.
Okay. There is a stigma associated with it, which is a shame. Because I've done it, before by myself. Like, I've gone to buffets by myself.
Oh,
but nowadays with technology, I just bring my phone and I have something to read or listen to a podcast. Yeah,
I'll get a cup of coffee by myself, but I'll never sit down for a meal for some reason.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Did you notice the shimmy that Kramer does when he says becomes a 2-lane comfort cruise? It's the same shimmy he does when he's telling his pinky toe bus driver story.
Oh, yeah?
So now I'm driving the bus.
Nice. Good catch. We should note, too, that Newman is using, this is so random, uses his mail truck to run fish for China Panda on the weekends. So
that's authorized by the Postal Service, right?
Absolutely. More to come on that as well. Something I never noticed before, and I love little details like this, when Elaine and Jerry are talking about China Panda, Kramer says, "Ooh, that stuff is unbelievable. I'd eat it out of a dumpster," which is, I want to use that line next time we go out to eat.
Sure.
Did you see what he's doing?
He's rubbing something over his neck and face.
Yeah, so Jerry has all of these items on the table. He's basically trying on Jerry's cologne.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Did you notice that before? Or
I noticed he was lathering up his neck and face, but I didn't know what it was.
What is it?
I guess
maybe he was putting some benzene on his neck?
From some cleaner, yes. It wasn't Dracar Noir. Is that my Dracar Noir, dude?
All right, well, let's cut over to apartment 1Q, the janitor's closet. Same delivery guy as before. He knocks on the door that's marked 1Q, but instead of a regular apartment number, this one is written on a piece of duct tape in black marker.
Okay, I buy it.
Yeah, Elaine really sells it. She makes him wait for a little bit, makes him knock a few times before opening the door with her hair wrapped in a towel, claiming she was in the shower. So she pays the guy and slams the door before he can get a good look inside.
Now that's pretty wily of Elaine because she's already encountered this guy, so he knows what she looks like. So a quick encounter with her head wrapped and I'm sorry, I was in the shower. That's pretty clever on her part.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to great lengths for this food.
It's the first time in America, man.
Mm-hmm. What else? All right, next scene. Did you ever realize that a lot of the action this week takes place on 86th Street?
I got to admit, I did not. But if you think about it, George yells, the broad jump at 86th Street. That's where he's going to be doing his construction later on. And then that's where Elaine is claiming this false residence. So, yeah, these stories are intersecting all at 86th Street.
Also, Jenna lives on 86th as well. You would think with the whole pothole fiasco later on.
Yeah, you're right. Damn.
But
pretty
I like
good.
to think that it's all on the same block as well. It's not, in different avenue blocks. Like this is all happening on the same part. But
oh yeah, I would agree because we're going to see that great shot of George jackhammering and Elaine walking by, both doing blue collar activities. She's got the dirt on her face and is carting around garbage.
Well, in this scene here, a construction crew arrives at the pothole to talk with George.
You Costanza? Yeah. Thanks for coming by, fellas. Yeah, got a set of keys buried in the pothole.
What are the keys doing in there?
Just need to dig them up.
You put them in there?
Nah, it's a long story. Just trying to get it up.
Bad place to put your keys.
Yeah, I know that. Could you start working?
Difficult job. If you want those keys, we're gonna have to dig this up.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this about money?
Yeah. It's about money.
That's a good scene.
I agree.
That guy is awesome.
Yes. Fantastic guest star this week.
We got a name. I got the first name. That's all I got. His name's Ralph. He's played by Jack McGee, who was in The Fighter, Moneyball, 21, and he was also in an It's Always Sunny episode.
Oh, really?
Making Dennis Reynolds a murderer.
Oh, yeah, he's the cop who's...
Haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Going in fresh.
No spoilers.
Thank you. But, man, this guy's great. Got that New York quality about him, and just the way I wouldn't say he dances around the topic, but he's waiting for George to catch up that it is about money. It's awesome.
And I, kind of similar to, I guess, Walt, whatever we want to call the guy who lives across from 1Q. Ralph kind of has the same thing here. He's like, bad place to put your keys. What are the keys doing in there? Just really stretching this out. But Jack McGee is fantastic. You can also catch him in at least one episode of Twin Peaks, which means he's of the original series. So he's one of those, Seinfeld actors that walks between two worlds. Anywho, let's cut over to mile 114. Kramer has some cones on the trunk of his car as he slows down to about, 5 miles per hour, gets some paint on a roller, and slowly guides it over the lane markers, blacking them out.
Great visual.
Oh, man, what a classic shot. A lot of classic shots this week.
Trivia question again. Can you recall another time where Kramer was going very slow in his car and people were honking and zipping by him?
Just a couple of weeks ago in the comeback, right?
You magnificent bastard.
Cool,
You're right.
You crazies.
Yeah.
Gonna get us all killed.
Exactly.
All right, back to apartment 1Q. Elaine exits the janitor's closet after eating the supreme flounder and is confronted by the landlord, Mrs. Allister. Elaine thinks she's in trouble, for being somewhere she shouldn't be, but the landlord is actually upset that she was in there lazing on the job, and when she should have been down in the basement cleaning out those old carpets and scrap.
Right. Because I'm the janitor.
Don't get smart with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Love this. Another great guest star this week, man.
Yeah. This is Soraya Carroll, who plays Mrs. Allister, and she kind of reminds me of like a Bizarro Mr. Wilhelm. Because she's so oblivious that she just assumes this woman works in her building.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on with Mrs. Allister, how she could make this mistake, but maybe she's new.
Oh, Elaine's got one of those faces.
Mm-hmm. But more to come with Mrs. Allister. Next scene, we're at Kramer's apartment. Kramer wakes up to a radio traffic report. Turns out mile 114 on the ABE is a parking lot, thanks to 4 lanes becoming 2. Somebody screwed up on that one.
Oh, there's a great shot of Michael. He's kind of piecing this all together. He's like mouthing something to himself. Like he's waking up in this haze, realizing that the stretch of the highway they're talking about is his baby.
It wasn't a good idea.
And the way the radio announcer is talking is very similar to the way the Yankee announcers are talking when they converted to cotton for a couple games.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody screwed up on that one.
Let's get back to apartment 1Q, and here is one of the most memorable scenes from the episode. Elaine is waiting for her food to arrive in the very cramped janitor's closet.
Oh, it's you.
Is the flounder here yet?
No, it's not here yet. You want the tour? There's this.
Nice. French doors would really open this place up. Oh, but you have a slop bucket.
What are you doing here?
Hey. Oh, I was waiting downstairs with a jackhammer. Just thought I'd drop by.
Kramer's guys?
Yeah, I got him down to $50. I just have to do all the jackhammering myself.
Oh, that's nice. Kind of a hard labor fantasy camp.
Ow!
Oh, yeah. Oh, sweet setup. Elaine, give me paint thinner. I need like 40 gallons.
And plumb out.
Dang. If I don't get that black paint off, the city's gonna go ape. I don't want to lose my baby.
Janitor! It's Mrs. Allister. Yeah, yes, coming, Mrs. Allister. Okay, I've got to get out. Let's go. Here. Can you get a move from the door? What can I do for you?
I told you yesterday to haul that trash out of the basement.
Yeah, I am so sorry.
Some of the children have been playing near it and putting it in their mouth.
Well, a lot of it is vegetables.
Get that stuff out of there today or you'll be out of here. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Kramer spilled ammonia.
I don't feel like eating.
I'll borrow this, huh?
Janitor's meeting.
My favorite part about this scene is I feel like they kind of took a scene that could have occurred in Jerry's apartment and then lifted it and put it in this tiny janitor's closet and had them all kind of assume their various roles, but in this tiny space. So, George does the pop-in, Kramer does his, non-knocking slide in, and of course he runs into everybody.
He needs to borrow something, right?
Exactly. I'm taking this. But everything about this scene I absolutely love. And in fact, the castmates were a little bit worried because Julia was pregnant and they had to perform some of these physical bits here, that they were worried about hurting her, both with the slide in with Kramer as well as her kind of getting pushed out and the door slamming on her.
The squeezing and whatnot, yeah.
Yeah.
If any of our listeners, are big fans of the Marx Brothers, there's that classic scene in A Night at the Opera when all those characters are crammed into the stateroom. Andy Ackerman did confirm that this was sort of his homage to that, where, it's this little tiny room and just all these people start entering, and by the end, they all kind of like burst out. Mm-hmm. So,
any lines catch your fancy in this clip?
Oh yeah, there's so many good ones. I like right at the top. You want the tour? There's this.
Yeah.
That's good. And then when George arrives, I love it makes no sense. I got Kramer's guys down to $50. I just have to do all the jackhammering myself.
There you go. Once again, we hear about these fantasy camps. This is like a hard labor fantasy camp.
But I think my all-time favorite one is Mrs. Allister. Elaine gets shoved out. And, she's kind of ripping into Elaine for, not doing her job, getting the trash out of the basement. Some of the children have been playing near it and putting it in their mouths.
Well, a lot of it's vegetables.
So odd.
Of course, Kramer would be the one to spill ammonia.
Of course, yeah.
And ruin all the fun.
Have you ever smelled ammonia?
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
Not pleasant? I don't think I've ever smelled it before.
Oh, you don't want to.
I know what I'll be doing later. All right, let's cut over to Jerry's apartment. After cleaning out his entire kitchen, Jerry is ready to talk with Jenna.
So, Jerry, why'd you call me?
Well, I thought it's about time we put aside all this silliness. I know now that you didn't put anything in my toilet bowl. Did you?
Yes, I did.
Well, whatever. So, how have you been?
Good.
Good. Steak knife?
It's just eating away at you, isn't it?
No.
Hi.
Hi.
Jerry, can I borrow your car?
For what?
I have to haul some dirty garbage to the dump.
Dirt? That's all right, because there's nothing wrong with dirt.
Actually, it's pretty grimy.
Grime, grease, filth, funk, ooze, whatever it is. You take that stuff and put it right on my leather upholstery.
Well, I don't know who you are, but thanks for the car.
Sure. Bye.
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 There, you see? I just lent her my car, and she's gonna fill it with all sorts of... All right! You win! That car was my last germ-free sanctuary. I slept there last night. Now, for the love of God, please, what is it? What is it?
Toilet brush.
Toilet brush. Oh. All right, I can replace that.
You want to order dinner?
Yeah, let's go to your place. Because I threw out all my dishes.
I'm kind of shocked that after what Jerry did to her, and then what she ended up doing to Jerry, the emotional turmoil they put each other through, that they just kind of, okay, you want to go to dinner? Like, they both forgave each other, and they're back to being on good terms.
I think Jerry got off light, really.
I agree, yeah. If I was Jenna, I wouldn't want to deal with his sorry ass.
Mm-hmm.
Best line of that clip is the grime, grease, filth, funk, ooze, whatever it is. You take that stuff and you put it right on my leather upholstery.
Well, I don't know who you are, but thanks for the car.
Bye.
And great reaction from Jerry, which I think is in montages when you get little quick responses from characters. All right.
All right. Yep. You should also point out that Jerry says he slept in his car last night because that's the only germ-free place he knows. He also slept in his car when...
Again, like a few weeks or a month ago in the Money. When... Or no, that was the Cadillac.
No, you're right. It's the Money.
But it wasn't his car.
But it was a car.
A car, yeah.
There you have it.
Was that a Wayne's World reference?
You better believe it.
All right. This next scene here, we're going to be bouncing around a lot. Great shot. You mentioned this earlier, of Elaine hauling paint cans and a carpet down the sidewalk, giving a nod to George as a construction worker.
No words said.
No. Hey, that's kind of like a Wayne's World 2 reference with the whole Village People costumes.
Oh, yeah, there you go. We kind of shoehorned it in there, but it works.
Okay. George is jackhammering the pothole. Nearby, Kramer loads a huge barrel of paint thinner into his trunk. And at Jenna's, again, keep in mind, this is all happening like on the same block. At Jenna's, Jerry and his girlfriend are eating some Chinese food, probably China Panda. And Jerry tells her that he's never going to let some silly hygienic mishap get in the way of what could be a meaningful, long-lasting relationship. And outside, George hits a pipe and hears some rumbling. Jenna checks out the noise in her bathroom and sees the toilet rocking back and forth. A huge gust of water shoots out of the pothole, and Phil Rizzuto goes sailing towards the heavens.
Holy cow!
And as Jerry's going on about how he doesn't care about being clean or dirty, he hears an explosion, and Jenna scream from the bathroom. She's soaked in toilet water, and Jerry just has one thing to say.
Have a nice life. Ooh, that's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. And that motion, he puts like both hands up. It reminds me of the, did you ever see the Seinfeld Oz parody on SNL?
Yeah.
Where it's so dark.
At a beast, he stuck me with an AIDS-infected needle.
Oh. Good luck with all that. Yes. Ha ha ha. Very similar. Anyways, let's cut over to mile 114. Elaine is hauling, all of the garbage from the basement, enjoying her wide lanes, so luxurious as she...
Ooh, yeah!
Yeah, she's yanking the steering wheel to the right, to the left. So much so that the sewing machine, a piece of garbage, falls out of the trunk, plops onto the highway. And up the road, Kramer accidentally knocks over the barrel of paint thinner covering the highway. It's like, 50 gallons of paint thinner.
Bugger.
A mile back, Newman is hauling fish for China Panda in his mail truck, singing what song?
You're once, twice, 3 times a lady.
What the hell was that? He accidentally drives over the sewing machine and gets it caught, sending sparks flying across the road. And we get a reminder from Kramer that the paint thinner is, in fact, flammable.
Double bugger.
And just as Newman reaches a crescendo...
Once, twice, 3 times... All humanity!
I'm saving this clip for the end of the episode. I love this moment so much. One of my favorite Newman scenes.
Oh, yeah. And one of the best parts about it is that Wayne Knight came up. He ad-libbed the humanity part. So he kind of put the little cherry on top of what was already a great scene.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. Can you think of another reference to the Hindenburg on Seinfeld?
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah. Very
Flip
good.
to the Hindenburg story.
During the credits, Kramer cleans up his mess and sees Newman shuffle down the highway, outfit burnt, face covered in soot, hair blown back. He kind of looks like Wile E. Coyote, after some mishap, some explosive mishap.
He's got a little Joe Pesci from Home Alone thing, who's been through the ringer, too.
Mm-hmm. So, Newman isn't really responding to Kramer at all, and Kramer hears some police sirens in the distance, so he's like, I'm going to get the hell out of here, and then speeds off.
I'll meet you at the coffee shop. This is the scene that we spoke of earlier in which, Michael zinged off, around this corner, and there was the light tower where he almost hit the tower and potentially injuring a crew member.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty crazy episode, man. I just never knew that, you know, there was so much danger or risk behind the scenes, but really so much went into this episode.
Well, you got the shirt. I mean, come on.
I'll never forget it.
So, what do you think?
So, Matt, is this one of your favorite episodes of Seinfeld?
What number?
150?
Yeah, one of my favorites. What else? Yeah, I'm a big fan of this episode. I'm a little hesitant to rank it as, you know, like in my top 5 from season 8.
Sure.
You know, I want to finish up the season, but this is a solid episode. Not only does it have great lines, great storylines for all the characters, but I can't remember the last time we saw an episode that dovetailed as well as this one.
This was a flawless dovetailing.
Mm-hmm.
All the storylines kind of converged at the end, and there was no. The writers sometimes will talk about forcing it. You have to kind of shoehorn a plot point or a storyline in to make it work. But this one just seamlessly. Kramer with the highway. He's got buddies. He recommends them to George. You know, Elaine becomes this janitor who's hauling trash. So everything really seamlessly fits. And how. You know, we didn't pick up on it, but how conveniently they all either live at 86th Street or are doing their work on 86th Street. So really well done.
It is an out there episode, you know, like I guess there's some realistic premise with the toothbrush in the toilet bowl or, you know, frustrated that you're outside of the delivery window. But as the story unfolds, it just gets zanier and zanier. But again, it works because it just feels so... seamless how everything, you know, works off of each other. So,
yeah,
you know, I really applaud it from not only the directing, as we mentioned, but the writing standpoint from Steve and Dan.
Mm-hmm. We've kind of talked at length, or at least numerous times, about season 8 and 9 being very zany. It's a zany part of Seinfeld. And Andy Ackerman actually commented on this episode saying, you know, he sometimes regrets maybe shooting that last scene with Newman as he's walking down the street, kind of shell-shocked, and he's burnt head to toe and just has this look on his face. But for me, everything works so perfectly. I don't think that for a second, and nor do I even mind this, quote, zaniness. You know, this is like where we are in Seinfeld right now, and it works so well. So everything I buy, it's believable, and I was on board the whole time.
Feel the exact same way. What about your top 20 though, Vinny? Is this gonna crack it?
Man, I hate this part of the show.
Yeah.
I got the rye. No, okay. It's not gonna crack it.
Okay, me either. But you know, at this point I'm more interested in getting to our season 8 recap.
Yeah.
To reevaluate the whole season and just see what winds up in our top 5.
I gotta say though, these last string of episodes we've done, I've really been enjoying them. So it's a good time to be a Seinfeld fan. All right, that's going to do it for us here on Seincast this week. Please feel free to send us an email at seincast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, or leave us a voicemail at Coco Bosco.
Vinny, what episode do we have next week?
We are discussing the 17th episode of Season 8, The English Patient.
It's go time.
Mandelbaum, Mandelbaum, Mandelbaum.
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off. Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.